The Lord, in His providence, never leaves His people without aid. There is usually someone somewhere who has the gifts that enable us to hear the voice of God and to discern His will. In our own time, we have had the phenomenon of Padre Pio, but the Church has always had these people with supernatural knowledge. The way in which the young John Mary Vianney reached eventually the priesthood is in itself a miracle of providence. He was drafted, conscripted, and he managed to escape and wriggle out of it, but his life was in danger. He was hiding in a haystack, and they came along with prongs to make sure there was no one there. He nearly died of suffocation, but the Lord wanted him alive, for he had work to do for the kingdom. When he arrived at the quasi-abandoned parish of Ars, it was a spiritual desert. But we know how through his penance and prayer and pastoral care on a personal level, he built it up bit by bit, an example for all parish priests. He himself was ordained at the recommendation of the priest that had followed him through, and with the knowledge on the part of the seminary authorities that he was very pious. In the initial stages, he would try to memorize his sermons, but then he realized that it was actually more direct not to depend on a sheet, and his sermons without being read were far more powerful, for they were filled with the love of God. He was able to guide thousands upon thousands of souls to their path in life. We know how many vocations came through his knowledge and advice, and also how many people were orientated in a good way within marriage. But he was insistent on fidelity to grace and the good use of the sacraments. He did not like people receiving lightly the bread of angels, and he made sure that the confessions were complete and valid. That is a lesson for our time. We know that he also was a mystic. He was caught off guard in ecstasy. Even the altar boys noticed that he wasn't always touching the ground when at the altar. He was profoundly aware of the mystery of the priesthood and of what is expected of a priest. And indeed, in this, he is certainly a lesson for our time. At the end of the year of the priesthood, proclaimed by Pope Benedict, it was 2009, he was raised to a higher rank, not merely patron saint of parish priests, but of priests in the whole of the universal church, for he combined in himself the pure contemplative lover of Christ and the true pastor of souls. In him we see the supernatural continuously at work, providence, miracles, which he of course would deflect to the intercession of St. Philomena, keeping away from glory himself. But also the demon was aware of him and never left him alone. He complained while banging him one time that he had managed to extract from his hands more than 80,000 that belonged to him, and were there 4 others like him in the world, his kingdom would be destroyed. This is the priesthood, not that of administrating a parish behind a computer. The priest is the man of the sacraments, the man of preaching, the man of visiting, the man of caring for each one and not allowing a single soul to escape. Alas, what is happening in our time is that the truly priestly parts are being handed over to lay people, while quite often the priest is the functionary who makes it all work as a perfect machine. But the church is not a machine. It is the mystical body, and we are handling God. This is a lesson for our time. And it is also a reminder that the priest, in virtue of his ordination and vocation, is ipso facto called to be a contemplative. How could it be otherwise? The mystery of the priesthood was clearly understood by the Curé Vaz himself. He had very high words on its mystery, and we don't quite fathom what a priest is on this side of eternity. In 1986, I was at Ars, taking part in the massive charismatic convenio that was there, with thousands upon thousands from all over France and elsewhere. And the miracles of the early church were there. It was something out of this world. And after one night of massive miracles, I realized that I couldn't not be a part of this. I quietly wrote these words, Ars. Here it begins, henceforth, but one sole way can ever lie before my startled eyes. What hath this night been known is known for aye, and yesterday no more its lost plaint cries. A trembling of 2 worlds has touched this hour, and in this eve, a passing of an age long buried long ago, its ancient power hath left to linger on this oft read page. For though I came not this strange way before, and heard not words like these, nor saw such things, I stare, where 'tis not rare that on this shore of puzzlement some pause where it still sings a song of myriad aeons, long unknown, that have returned, and history overthrown.